Hello everyone, Marine here for lawnfawn, back with this trio of Christmas shaker tags or Christmas shaker ornaments, featuring one of my favorite holiday stamp set, making Frosty Friends, an oldie but definitely a goodie. And as very often, we have a mix and match of supplies, so let's check out what we need to make those tags / ornaments. So we have making Frosty Friends for the snowman, accessories and birds, Happy Wedding for the heart, Say What Christmas critters for the speech bubble and Merry Christmas greeting, 3 of the winter big scripty words hot foil plates, the snowflake background hot foil plate, the second largest stitched scalloped rectangle frame, the second largest outside-in stitched rectangle die. We have the handle decorative die from the double slider surprise die set, 3 nitpicky winter papers, and 3 spiffy speckles papers. So I am going to start with the foiling, and I want each window to have shiny details, so I am going to use my Spellbinder's Glimmer hot foil system to achieve that. I am placing the snowflake background plate on the machine with the designs facing up. Next, the sheet of foil with the shiny side facing down. Next, an acetate panel on top. This lawnfawn acetate is heat resistant, so it works perfectly with the hot foil machine. Next, I am adding the plates that come with the machine with 3 extra pieces of cardstock between both plates. Pressing the timer button, and once the timer button is green, I can disconnect the system from the base and run it through my die cutting machine back and forth 2 times to get a nice foiling on the acetate. So let's put the system back on the base, and it's so beautiful, it looks amazing, so shiny, it's perfect. So next, I am going to repeat the same steps to foil the 2 other acetate panels. So my acetate panels are done, super shiny and beautiful, and while I have my glimmer machine on my desk, I am going to foil 3 of the winter big scripty words in gold on white cardstock, and I will cut those 3 greetings using the coordinating dies. So we are done with the foiling, and now we can start working on the shaker panels. I am going to cut 3 scalloped frames out of those nitpicky winter papers, and 3 stitched panels out of those spiffy speckles papers. And by the magic of the video, our panels are already done, and I cut 3 extra frames out of white cardstock, and I'm going to attach a white frame at the back of each nitpicky frame to make them more sturdy. So now we need to trim the acetate panels so they can fit behind the scalloped frames. And I am going to use the same outside-in stitched die as before to trim my 3 acetate panels. And more magic, the acetate panels are ready to be stuck at the back of each nitpicky frame. I added strong double-sided tape at the back of each frame, and I am going to stick the acetate panels to create 3 windows. Next, I want to add a handle at the top of each tag, but I don't want it to peek out too much. So I am placing the handle where I want it to be, using a pencil to mark the bottom of the handle. I am cutting that first handle and then using it as a guide to cut the 5 other handles. So I am keeping 3 of the handles. I will use the 3 others in a second. And I am going to stick a handle at the back of each window, right in the top center. And once again, I am using very strong tape to make sure that everything will stay perfectly in place, especially if I decide to send those tags abroad. I did a little bit of work off screen. I cut 3 more frames out of cardstock that match the nitpicky papers, as well as 3 white panels. I stuck a frame on each white panel. Those new panels will go at the back of our shaker tags, but before I go further in the process, I want to add a to and a from at the bottom of those 3 panels. The stems are from Say What Christmas Critters, and I'm simply using black ink to stem those words. And by leaving the upper section blank, it gives you space to write a message for the recipient. Now let's bring the 3 remaining handles back. I am going to stick them at the back of those new panels. Okay, so now one more step before we start assembling everything. This is how the panels will go, so we need to attach the spiffy speckles panels on the second scalloped panels. If I can give you one piece of advice to make those tags or ornaments, it's to do all the die cutting first, cut all the frames, all the panels first, and do the hot foiling too. This way you will have all your pieces ready to be assembled in a mass production way. It will be way easier than to make one single tag at a time. So now it's time to assemble our panels and make shaker tags / ornaments. I am first going to use those slim foam strips to create space at the back of each window where I can put my shaker material in. So I am just going to stick those foam strips all around the windows on the 4 edges. One more step before adding the shaker pieces is to rub the inside edges of the foam strips with powder. The edges of the foam can be sticky, so doing this will make those edges non-sticky, and this way the shaker accessories won't stick to the foam and will move freely inside the shaker. So now I'm cleaning the excess of powder, and I'll do the same on the two other panels. Now we can add our shaker decorations inside each window. I picked those cute polymer clay white snowflakes and some shimmery confetti. I am pouring a good amount of each inside my windows. And then I will close each window by attaching the back panels. And our shaker panels are done. We will add twine and ribbons at the end. So now we can move on to the coloring. I stamped my images on Nina Solar White cardstock using lawnfawn jet black ink. As always, I cut them all using the coordinating dies, and I am going to color everything using alcohol markers. My Ohuhu markers, graphite brush markers, and Spectrum Noir Illustrator markers. And to match the tags, I went for a pink, green, aqua, and red color palette. I am starting with this cute snowman that I am going to color using two light aqua markers. I am first adding the darker one all along the edges of the snowman. Next, I am using the lighter one to blend my first color towards the inside of the image. And then I am using my colorless marker to blend both colors. And this time I am using my marker towards the outside of the image, towards the black line. So now everything is ready. I stamped a Merry Christmas greeting inside each peach bubble. So we can start attaching the images on the tags. I am using 1mm and 2mm foam squares mostly. It sticks perfectly to the acetate, and also liquid glue at some places. So now let's add some decorations at the top of our tags. I picked this twine. It has gold threads in it, so it reminds the foil on the tags. I am making a simple handle. And then I am going to add those pinkish red bows. And I think it's the perfect final detail. It picks on the red hearts and birds, and it makes the tags even more festive. I won't be able to explain the bow process properly, so I am leaving it in normal speed and hopefully you can see how I did it. But if not, I basically searched for how to tie ribbon on YouTube and found a bunch of easy tutorials. So I am sticking that bow using 3mm glue dots. I am going to repeat those steps to finish the two other tags. I will add highlights on the images using a white gel pen. And as a last final detail, I will add a little bit of white blizzard Nouveau drops on the hearts. And I am also adding a dot of liquid glue at the back of each knot just to one more time secure everything. And we are done. I love those tags so much. I think they're my favorite among all the tags I've made since I started card making. I love how bright and cute and Christmassy they are. And like I've been saying during the video, they can be tags, they can be ornaments, and if you skip the handle part, they definitely can be turned into cards. Well, I hope that this will inspire you. Thank you so much for stopping by and for watching this video. Have an amazing day and I will see you next time. Bye!